In the previous movie, we saw how we can use the amend option with commit in order to edit our very last commit, the commit that the head still points to. We also saw how it's difficult to amend older commits because that would violate the data integrity, which is an important feature of Git. Instead, if we need to make changes to those older commits, the best advice is to make new commits, commits that undo what was done in those older commits. Not only does it maintain the data integrity of Git, but then the log file also accurately reflects the changes that were made over time. And it shows that at one point one change was made, and then several commits later, another commit was made. That information might actually have some importance, especially if the commits in between played off of those changes in any way. Now what it doesn't do is allow us to hide our mistakes. Instead, you'll just have to record the mistake you made and then record the fix that goes with it. In order to make new commits that undo changes, there's a number of different ways that we could do it. One would be we could simply manually make those changes, just like we did the first time, and then commit the result. But I want to show you another way that we can do it that's a little bit faster too. Let's take a look at our Git log, and let's take a look at this last commit that we made. Now, we could use amend to just edit this commit, but this is the one where we changed our resources.html file. We rearranged the items that were in a list there. Let's say we made 2 or 3 more commits since then, and we wanted to go back and we wanted to revert this file and get it back to its old state. What we can do is we can check out this file, check out the old version of resources.html from before we made that change. So if the change was made in this commit, then the commit that has the version previous to that is this version, and probably all the versions that are before it. But we'll take the one that's immediately before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy part of this SHA at the top. Now you could take the whole thing, but it's not necessary. These numbers are unique enough that you can usually just grab the first 10 or so characters and copy those and use those for a reference. And then I'm going to say git checkout. I'm going to use that reference to the commit that I want, followed by a dash dash. That's that bare double dash that we used before with checkout to let it know that we're not talking about a branch. We mean the current branch. And then the file that I mean, resources.html. So now I've told it to check that out. Let's take a look at Git status, and you'll see that it moved it into my index. So I've checked it out, and here it is ready to be committed. Now this behavior is slightly different. Before, when I did a checkout, it put it in my working directory. Here it went ahead and put it in my staging index. When you check it out from a particular revision, it puts it into your staging area. Now if we do git diff dash dash staged, we can see the comparison, and we can see that this is the old file, the old version, and if we were to commit it, it would revert those changes. It would change it so that sunglasses, sunscreen, insect repellent moved from the top back down to the bottom where they were originally. So there it is, ready to be committed. I can just do a regular commit now, and it will undo that change that I made previously. It's a good habit when you're reverting a particular commit to actually refer to the SHA for that commit. So it would be a good idea to take part of the SHA and copy it, and then say, this commit reverts commit, and give that SHA. So it's a reference, so people can look it up and figure out what you were trying to revert. We could go ahead and commit that, but I'm going to instead bring up the status again. Let's do get reset head on resources.html. That'll put it back in our working directory, and then we'll do get checkout dash dash resources.html, and that now removes it from our working directory so that now our working directory is clean. And the reason I don't want to do it here is because in the next movie, I'm going to show you how we can use a command called git revert to do something very similar.